Shri Gauranga Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Continuing with our reading from the Jaiva Dharma, the chapter is a continuation from last time, and it is the introduction to Rasa. Brajanath now says to Gopal Guru Goswami, remember they've switched locations from Mayapur to Jagannath Puri, and Brajanath is speaking with the head of the month there, and Brajanath asks that please describe those devotees who are suitable for Rasa. And Goswami says, persons whose hearts are filled with bhav for Krishna are devotees with Rasa Tattva, meaning those whose heart is naturally inclined towards Krishna and has awakened somewhat of a loving temperament towards Krishna and the pastimes of Krishna within Braj. So Brajanath asks, how many types of devotees of Krishna are there who are suitable for Rasa? And the Goswami says there are two types, the sadhaka and the siddha. Sadhaka means those who are practitioners, those who are trying to awaken their full love for Krishna, and those who have already perfected themselves, the siddhas. So Brajanath asks, who are the sadhakas? And the Goswami says, persons who concentrate on Krishna, but whose obstacles are not completely removed, having the desire to attain the direct meeting with Krishna. They are called sadhakas. They are the madhyam devotees. Their hearts are drawn towards Krishna, looking for that time when they will ultimately be with Krishna and meet with Krishna and serve Krishna in accordance with their heart's mood. They are sadhakas trying to become free of those obstacles which still bind them to some degree to this world and to move on ultimately to their highest perfection. They are sadhakas. But they are in the category of madhyam. So Brajanath says, oh Prabhu, does that mean that the kanishtas cannot attain this or be qualified for Rasa? And Goswami says, no, they're not qualified until they become pure devotees by the mercy of pure devotees. They cannot be sadhakas for Rasa. So the requirement is actually the mercy of the pure devotee. Once one has that opportunity and sees what is genuine devotion, because so many different degrees of devotion were described, so many different degrees of chanting were described, shadowy forms and so forth. But pure devotion is a precious jewel. It is not easily acquired. So when one has attained the association of pure devotee and aspires to become like that, to achieve that spiritual perfection in which one holds Krishna within one's heart continually and aspires for achieving that divine service to Krishna within Braj, that person then comes to the level of madhyam. Otherwise, he's going through the motions. So kanishta means going through the motions, or as I previously described, like in Christian terms, they're churchgoers. They like Krishna, they like the association, they like the prasadam, the joy of the ceremonies and so forth. But they are not 100% devoted. Their mind is also distracted by other things. So they are not actually in the category of pure devotee or pure madhyam devotee. So Rajanath asked, then who are the siddhas? Understanding who are the sadhakas, who are the siddhas? Goswami says, those who do not experience any suffering, whose every action takes shelter of Krishna and are surrendered to the taste of Prem's happiness at all times, are siddhas. They are always situated, in other words, in pure Krishna consciousness. Who are the Nitya Siddhas? The Goswami says, Rupa Goswami has written, those whose very body and qualities are bliss like Mukunda's, and who possesses the highest prema for Krishna, which is 10 million times greater than attachment for the self, they are called eternally perfect, or Nitya Siddhas. Just as Lakshman, Bharat, Sankarshan take birth with the Lord, the Yadava cowherd people, descending from the spiritual planet by the Lord's will, take birth with the appearance of Lord Krishna, and then they return to the eternal Dham along with him. The birth of these devotees is not caused by karma. That is the distinction. They're never in contact with the karmic world. They're always with Krishna. Therefore, they're Nitya Siddhas. They're eternally perfect. They have no connection with Maya or the karmic cycles of this world. So, Brajanath asks, can you please explain Udipan, that stimuli which awakens that desire? Goswami says, things which stimulate the bhav, this mood or pure mood of devotion, they're called the Udipans. They're various things that awaken within our heart, that stimulates the heart to awaken to this level of prema. One may hear Krishna's qualities, his activities, his decorations. All these things awaken, of course, within the state of perfection. One may hear Krishna's flute or horn or the ankle bells, see the marks of conch or other things upon his feet. But within the realm of material life, one may see Tulsi, his devotees, the Ekadasis, going to the Dham, the importance of Vrindavan. We have always stressed that, because this awakens a bhav for Krishna, to go to those holy places and see these things, see where Krishna has performed these pastimes, and to take the opportunity to bow down and take bath and so forth, take the dust upon one's head. These things are stimuli. They're called Udipan. They stimulate the devotion that may lay dormant within our heart. These are all Udipans, says the Goswami. We should also understand that Krishna's qualities are divided amongst his ages. There are 3 ages: the Kumara age, the Poganda age, and the Kaishara age. Childhood, or the Kumara, ends at his 5th year. Boyhood, or Poganda, will end with his 10th year. Youth, or Kaishara, ends with his 16th year. After that, there is Yovana, or manhood. But we are concerned with his Leelas in Braj, and these are manifested in 3 categories: Kumara, Poganda, and Kaishara. After that, it may be seen that Krishna leaves for Mathura, Dwarka, and so forth. But within Braj, he manifests boyhood, when he's cared for by his mother and father and other elders. Boyhood, when he's playing with his cowherd boyfriends and killing various demons wandering about the forest. And of course, Kaishara, when Krishna awakens the love of the gopis towards him and he towards them. So the Kaishara age also has 3 divisions: beginning, middle, and end. Among the Among the bodily qualities, beauty is the stimuli and is considered the chief. Beauty means the proper placement of all limbs, dress, consisting of clothing, decorations, hairstyle. The devotee gets the opportunity to arrange for these things through the deity worship. And therefore, on the higher level, the devotee realizes when he enters into the seva of the deity, he's actually entering, in one sense, into the Braj Lila. And he gets the opportunity to dress Krishna in beautiful clothing, decorate him with various flowers and hairstyles. Krishna also has 3 types of flutes, the Venu, the Murali, and the Vamshika. Venu is 12 fingers long, 1 thumb wide, has 6 holes. The sweet-sounding Murali is 2 hands long, in other words, 24 fingers or 18 inches long, with a hole at the end and 4 holes for producing sounds. The Vamsika is 17 fingers long with 9 holes, or about 12.75 inches. 8 holes for playing notes and a half a finger in diameter and spaced half a finger apart. A hole for blowing is placed 1.5 fingers from the 8th hole and in 1 finger in the diameter. So this is very technical, but this is description actually of Krishna's different flutes. There's 4 finger space remaining at the head of the flute, 3 finger space remaining at the end of the flute. The conch also, with its spiral turning to the right, which is held in Krishna's hand, is called Panchajanya. That sound of the conch stimulates or awakens that love within the heart. These are all called udipans. And the rati of the devotee is stimulated and acts towards Krishna through various means like this. And one finally realizes the taste. As his heart awakens, that taste manifests. In one sense, ras means taste. In India, if you're eating somewhere and they come around with ras, they say ras meaning sauce. Generally we say sauce. But the ras means the sauce or flavors of variety of flavors mixed together, masalas. Different flavors are there. So ras is flavorful because of the varieties of taste that are within that ras. Within that ingredient of the sauce, for instance. There's various spicing and so forth that gives a very distinct and wonderful taste. But each of them can be noted. It has coriander, it has turmeric, it has cumin, so many different things that creates that taste. So that taste for Krishna is awakened in the same way, with all varying varieties, subtle tastes. By all these udipans, the rati of the devotee is stimulated and finally becomes taste. That rati is the sthayi bhav, which then becomes ras. Oh, I will explain more tomorrow, if you can come back at that time. Then I will explain all of this. Therefore, taking permission from the Goswami's feet, while contemplating now the subject of ras, Vijay Kumar and Brajanath went to see the Siddha Bakul, and experiencing many types of bliss at the temple of Jagannath, went home to their lodging. So, Vijay Kumar and Brajanath are hearing the subject matter of ras, and then while residing within that holy dham of Jagannath Puri, they of course are visiting the temple, and most significantly it mentions the Siddha Bakul, and this is a tree in which Haridas Thakur, the dearmost devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, would sit and chant. Very powerful location. all of these places will act as udipans to stimulate our natural devotion towards Krishna also. We're going to continue with chapter 27 here. The next day after midday, having taken prasad, the two, thirsty now for more Rasa Tattva, arrived at the Radha Kanta Math. Gopal Goswami, having taken his Mahaprasad, was sitting and waiting for those two inquisitive students. He was also eager to see them. Dayan Chandra Goswami was sitting next to him, writing a manual on the process of worship in accordance with Rasa Tattva. So Dayan Chandra Goswami is the dearest disciple of Gopal Guru Goswami. And Gopal Guru Goswami was giving him instructions on a book to be written on how to experience Ras and how a devotee should live one's life in order to taste Ras, what he should do through the different periods of the days and so forth. Gopal Goswami's appearance was remarkable. He was in the dress of a sannyasi, tilak on his forehead. The names of the Lord were written on his limbs. He wore 4 thick strands of tulsi around his neck, with japa beads in his hands, with eyes half closed in meditation, decorated with streams of tears, and periodically calling out, O Gauranga, O Nityananda, O Gauranga, O Nityananda. With a somewhat stout body, shining blackish complexion, he sat on a seat made of banana bark. At a distance were his wooden shoes, and nearby was his pot full of water, his water pot. Because Vijay Kumar and Brajanath were learned in all the scriptures and were proper Vaishnavas, and they also were residents of Navadvip, coming from that place, all the devotees of this particular math knew them and respected them. The two offered respects to Guru Goswami, and the Goswami embraced them and had them sit down. Eventually, Brajanath politely raised the topic of Ras. Goswami with care said, "Today, teaching you about anubhavs and other ingredients, I will have you enter into Ras Tattva." So the anubhavs are like the different spices, the different tastes which combine together to make Ras. First, I will explain anubhav. Please listen. Vibhav is the person in whom rati is experienced, and the person who causes the rati, that by which rati, situated in the heart, is understood. The experiencer and the giver of the experiencer. Though they are manifested as external symptoms, they indicate the bhav situated within the heart. By external symptoms, sometimes it's dancing, singing loudly, shouting, sometimes yawning or sighing. Different types of ecstatic symptoms may be seen upon the body. But these are all manifestations coming from the heart. The bhav of the heart is revealed. Brajanath says, how can these external transformations nourish the taste of ras of the sthayi bhav, when the taste of ras is eternal, internal, inside? The anubhavs manifest externally. Goswami says, you are thoroughly studied in the scriptures of Nyaya, or logic. I have not seen anyone till now ask such subtle questions as you have. When I studied this topic of Ras with the learned Pandit Vakrishwar, I also had this doubt in my mind. Well, isn't this an internal experience? Why is it manifested external? By my Guru's mercy, that doubt was resolved. The deep conclusion is this: the Jiva's Shuddha Sattva state has many functions within the heart or within his consciousness. When consciousness is stimulated by Krishna, which assists its functions, a natural astonishment arises. This astonishment makes the heart blossom in various ways. When the heart blossoms with joy, resulting transformations manifest in the body. And these manifestations are seen as dancing and joy and the shouting, Haribol, Haribol. All of these are external, but they're coming from the heart. That is the point. When the heart dances, the body dances. When the heart sings, the tongue sings. As soon as the Sthayi Bhav in the heart is inspired by Krishna or his qualities, the heart's function becomes active as the Anubhav, the taster of the experience, and one feels joy. When the heart is overcome by bhav, or spiritual emotion, related to Krishna, either directly or indirectly, it is called the state of sattva. The bhav that arises from the sattva is called the sattvika bhav. When bhavs, or the emotions, overcome the heart, various manifestations upon the body can take place. Goswami says the sattvika bhavs that arise gradually by sadhana from sincere, pure bhakti are Vaishnava bhavs. There is the condition where they may be imitation. We call that sahaja, someone who imitates these states. But there are genuine states of excitement that manifest within the heart out of natural love for Krishna and overflows upon the body, dancing, singing, and so forth. So that will be seen. Do all devotees have the same bhav? Asked Brajanath. No, there are various types of devotees, and so their mental inclinations vary. That is natural. There are different devotees, and there are different types of bhavs, which they all experience differently. They're individuals. According to the mind, there is difference in the manifestation of bhav. Sometimes we may say a mind may be heavy, light, or deep in bhav. And there are differences in the manifestation of bhav. But by nature, nectar is always liquid. The liquid nectar of bhav. It melts the heart. The heart becomes melted. The heart of Krishna's devotee is like nectar by nature. So their heart melts when they're in contact with these stimuli. You can see that sometimes a devotee sees Vrindavan and rolls in the dust out of natural or spontaneous exuberance, spiritual exuberance, that is bhav. He just wants to roll in the dust or joyfully play within the waters of the Jamuna, splashing each other and laughing and joking and like that. These are heart emotions, but they are not material emotions. They are spiritual because they're arising out of one's natural love for Krishna. So Baba Goswami Ji says, now I have explained enough for today. Today this is enough. We have covered much subject matter here. Tomorrow I will continue to explain the Sthayi Bhav, so please return and I will discuss this subject with you. Vijay Kumar and Rajanath then offered their respects and left for home. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Jai Shri Radhesha.